The living room, where the family meets to discuss issues, any issue which may be bothering one of the family members. That's what we do each and every Tuesday on WAC 90.1 FM with Ricardo Mitchell and DJ Aaron 868. We have casual conversations on serious topics, from sports to culture, mental health to economics, relationships to life lessons. Join us each and every Tuesday from 7 to 8 p.m. on WAC 90.1 FM. The Living Room, casual conversations on serious topics.
It is currently 6 p.m. here in Trinidad and Tobago. I don't know what time it is where you are. I have an extra watch home, and from next week I'm going to give it to Ricardo so he would not look. Yeah, he wouldn't do that again, right? And remember, you're locked onto the True Nation station, WACK 90.1 FM, where we are
culture crazy.
Now, this week it's gonna be. No, wait, there's something we do before we get into anything good, alright?
Correct.
We must start our program like we always do, alright, guys? Must give thanks and praises to the Almighty for granting us the gift of life and seeing another day. No matter what time of day it is, you must always
give thanks.
And secondly, we must say thank you to our brother in music, Tony Prescott. Yeah, Tony P. I have to say the full name today. So Tony P, and P this week stands for
Punctures. Punctures.
Yeah, that flat tire?
No. Because needles now. Some people have problems with needles.
Some people.
Yeah.
Your PSAS or something?
Yeah. No. I have no problem with it, but people have problems with it.
I am people, right? And if you don't know the program you're listening to, this is The Living Room with yours truly, DJ Aaron 868. I'm always great and I'm never late. Alongside my bro with no fro, but plenty of flow,
Ricardo Mitchell, the babyface sage. At least until I go back home.
You need to use some Jamaican castor oil for that.
You have Jamaican castor oil?
Yeah.
Right, we'll organize now the salad that he promised me.
This is another edition of the Living Room, and you can clearly see things have not changed at all. And we are joined this week by our friend. We could call him our friend.
I should call him our friend.
You should.
It's 25 years plus.
Apart from since the beards were black.
No, I had no beards back then. Barely had a mustache.
Still struggling.
We are joined by our friend from Green Med Lab, Mr. Kerron Ovid.
Yeah, so Kerron, I don't know if you'd mind giving us some welcome to the living room.
Thank you very much for having me.
Again, correct is right. If you could give for those of us who do know you 25 years, just a quick introduction as to who you are and what you're doing.
Well, as Ricardo said, I'm Kerron Ovid, Managing Director of Green Med Limited. We are San Fernando and Point Fortin based medical laboratory, full service medical laboratory. We've been in operation since 2012. I have been along this journey since 2004 when I embarked on studying MLT at COSCAT in Mount. Since then, it has been an upward journey, traversing several institutions, absorbing what they have to teach, and honing in on my skills of compassion to be able to deliver the type of healthcare service and service in general that I want for all clients and potential clients. Right? I'm Marabella native for I guess the better of 39 years of my life. I'm gonna be big 40 coming next year, so that'll be another milestone challenge to overcome. But I mean, like with everything else, we welcome challenges with open arms. That being said, I'm grateful to be a part of the program once more, to be able to share what I can, if I can, in a way that the audience will be able to appreciate what is being said.
I want to mention the 40 mark because this is Men's Health Month.
Right.
And 40 is a significant number for a lot of us for a number of reasons. I remember last year I was reprimanded by Dr. Nick Maraj. Because there were some things I was not doing in preparation for what could be the second half of my life. And he drew to our attention the need for us as men to be more actively involved in our own healthcare, the personal responsibility, the lifestyle choices, etc.
And we always talk about we hang our hat and we wipe our feet to start our program. And since we have our guest in from the start, we're going to tray under the bus here and say, is there anything positive that happened in the last week that you want to shed some light on?
Anything positive? Wow, that's very impromptu. Positive that took place in the last week. The last week we had audit for the drug and alcohol testing industry. The Point Research Chamber recently decided to embark upon doing an activity to accredit laboratories to be able to do drug testing within the industry to a particular standard, right? So part of the audit exercise, of course, led to some of the shortcomings that we would have had, right? And also gave me the opportunity to reflect and brush up on some of those shortcomings. So, I mean, it was a surprise audit, but at the same point in time, it was an educational audit in knowing, the types of paperwork that we have to have in place, etc., etc. And especially for the two branches that we have, to ensure that staff follow the same procedure across the board. So a learning exercise. We have a month to remedy some of the non-conformities. So that is a team building exercise as well, right? Another positive thing for the week, we celebrate birthdays again at Green Med in a very family/team oriented manner. So in celebrating one of the employees and birthday, she indicated that she wanted to go to one of the haunted house in Chagrams. So we took that on as a group exercise, as a team building exercise to help our connection as a staff, as a team.
I guess we're gonna hang the Halloween hats and happy birthday, happy belated to your staff member. So you have some. I like the way that you spoke about the audit as being an opportunity for improvement and education and some team building as well. I like the approach that you take in terms of looking at it. You said earlier that you welcome challenges, and this is an obvious example. That is pretty good. I want to hang my hat, if it's alright. This weekend, the Sophia Miriam Foundation, which is an organization that I'm a part of, they held a child sexual abuse awareness seminar, a session, and it was facilitated by the Dominica Child Protection Society. So I also want to acknowledge them for the contribution and for putting together such a lovely program. We featured a book by Dr. Abushar called If You Touch Me, I Will Tell. It is a children's book helping prepare young kids for the challenges of identifying inappropriate touch. Right. So I just want to acknowledge the work that people are doing to continue to protect and educate and empower our youth. And it's not just here, it's across the region. So I want to hang my hat on those types of efforts. Iran, anything you want to hang your hat on, or you looking to wipe your feet?
I'll start by hanging my hat and go move straight into wiping your feet. I want to hang my hat to the NCC for coordinating the launch of Carnival in the Queen's Park Savannah this weekend, right? excellently put together show. However, in wiping my feet, if you have shows like that, you need to have proper management of time. You can't expect your show to finish at 11 and then your headline acts are coming on at 10:30. That's making no sense, right? And other than that, to the businesses that feel they need to charge the credit card fees, which they're not supposed to be doing, don't do it. According to links, no matter the price you're supposed to pay. Not because I'm using a credit card to pay for something that I have to pay the fee so that your business does it. Stop doing it. I report on it to Consumer Affairs already. I can't call it that. That's the name?
No, we leave all that. Yeah.
You sure?
Yeah, you get the points across.
Just know it's a store upstairs in God City Mall. Anyhow.
Right. But I know Kerron is a man who don't play when it comes to those types of things either.
Any form of payment,
And they pay the same price.
same price.
See?
Even a discount with credit cards as well. So it doesn't make a difference.
Now, he said it without me having to say thank you very much.
This is one of the reasons I thought it would be wise to have you for this segment, for this particular conversation, because we're getting up there in numbers, right? And not only just getting up there in age, we're looking at the fact that the majority, we getting up there in numbers.
Yeah.
All right here.
But as I had 21.
The hardest 21 we might ever see, but if we say 21, yeah, and we have to recognize that in the Caribbean, particularly, our diets, our lifestyles contribute very heavily to early demands, right? Our onset of lifestyle illnesses and things that, even if they're not necessarily fatal, they definitely do diminish the quality of life, and they get expensive as well. So the question I want to ask you, Kerron, is first and foremost, why is it important for us to get tested?
Alright, so for me, testing is twofold, right? Testing, you're looking at wanting to know what is happening with your body. You may have some slight complaint, you may just want to do a general checkup, right? And also, testing for me gives a peace of mind, right? As a man or men, right? Generally we tend to shy away from testing, right? So you might think, I don't need to test my sugar good, my prostate good, pressure good, and you usually more see women or females in general either volunteering to be tested or willingly looking out for their health, right? And I think that a lot of men, based on again how we grew up, it was more or less as a discipline measure, whereby parents might have threatened children, I'll take you to the doctor, or I'll take you for an injection, and some people build their whole image of healthcare around that, right? So even to get a blood test, some people will tell you, I really do like needles. Personally, I don't like needles myself, right? However, I mean, to counter that, I have different strategies, that I use, and I encourage my patients actually when they come, to relax and get into the a calmer state of mind, basically, in order for me to do my job for taking the sample
For the puncture.
Right.
Because I always say, like, if I knew I have to go and do a medical, all of a sudden my pressure is behind.
Right. There's an anxiety attack.
So, but if I wake up in the morning and I check my blood pressure, it's very normal.
Right.
But once I know how to do a medical, it happened.
Yeah. Because you see, you don't want to. You're preparing, I guess you say prepare for the worst, but at the same point in time, you don't want to know that something is up as a surprise then to you. So you're always nervous in the sense of, you want to know right, my cholesterol high, prostate test high. What does this mean? Do I have to get probed? Do I have to go to the doctor and,
But
having,
you see, you bring the other fuel, which I thought Ricardo would have led with today into the conversation earlier that we wanted to bring it in. Now, that fuel, the prostate, right? And the prostate testing. Are there any other ways besides the fluid?
Currently, not that I know. But in terms of local testing, they have biopsies, right? Again, which would be a scraping of the prostate gland, right? But the usual test at the physician office via urologist or general practitioner would be that finger insert.
Digital collection of, or a digital test.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, using your digits, yes.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same point in
Just
time,
making things sound so technical.
but at the same point in time, there's also other screening tools that could be used for doing prostate exams. As I said, with the biopsies, etc.
Alright.
But again, you wouldn't go into that unless someone comes in with a problem. And most times, men wait until they have a problem to come in to do the testing, right? Which at that point in time, I mean, that is what they're trying to avoid, that digit insertion, as the preliminary screen for doing that particular type of test, right? The blood test, PSA blood test in particular, is used as a marker, not necessarily as an indicator of prostate cancer, right? Because it could have several factors that would result in an elevation of that particular hormone, right? So what we're looking at, what we usually do is, based on the recommendation of the physician, we do PSA as a semi-screening tool for prostate cancer.
And if the levels are high on the PSA test, then they proceed to.
When the levels are high in the PSA test, but again based on the physician's recommendation, they would then determine whether or not it's based on, again, hormonal imbalance. It might be based on diet. It could be based on several other factors outside of actual cancer of the prostate. Right? So it's only if they do more intense testing, then you'll be able to determine whether or not it is prostate cancer. But the most diagnostic tool for that would be via biopsy, where they would be actually scraping part of the gland to determine if they have any cancer cells present.
Yeah. Now, scraping sounds. It sounds
invasive, but I mean, at the end of the day, there are medical advancements, right, that would be able to collect the biopsy sample with minimum discomfort.
Okay.
Basically.
Straight in the deep end.
Yeah.
Yeah. But here the catch though, I am 40. Right. I have no known history of prostate cancer in my family. Right. I still should go get tested, or I'm okay till 45 brackets.
Well,
I'm not asking for a diagnosis here.
Right.
Yeah.
Part of it is that the laboratory itself can't really be doing diagnosis.
Right.
Right. But again, screening really begins at 40. Because at 40, you're at risk of all different types of changes in the body. Right. Be it, again, as I say, pressure, start seeing lethargy, your body undergoes a whole different lot of changes, right? And essentially, when you go to your GP or urologist, I mean, most times you go just for a general checkup. Part of the employee profiles as well too, once someone reaches over 40, by OSH standard, they usually test the PSA as one for men, and we'll say 1 to 5 for women, right? As one of their screening tools, right?
You mentioned something here about employee and push, right? Occupational safety and health. Now, again, there's a reason I chose you for this discussion. Right? I am currently self-employed.
Right.
And nobody's sending me for screen. I will go. I mean, I had to pay for it myself.
Right.
How much do you see the cost of testing being a deterrent to people coming in for testing?
Well, the cost of testing varies. Again, it'll be determined whether or not, if you're coming in specifically for prostate screening, if you're coming in for cholesterol screening, if you're coming in for holistic screening, right? Several labs, doctors' offices, etc., they have different packages that they offer with respect to packages for men over 40 or in that bracket, right? I can't speak for what their prices would be, but I know that we have packages starting from $580, right, which would include complete blood count, a lipid profile, a renal function test, a liver function test, and fasting blood sugar, right? Things like PSAs, etc., that'll be add-ons. But of course, overall, if you have insurance and any of the cards to swipe or claim from, you'll be able to get your discounts as well.
So I could do screening for less than the price of a bottle of scotch in the club.
More or less, yes.
Why have to put it like that?
I want to put a frame of reference for men who say they can't afford that but then pulling around. I have any conversation that we need to have. Right? The same reason we wouldn't go by the dentist, we wouldn't go and get our eyes checked, we wouldn't go for testing is because, or for mental health help, right? The same reason we can't afford a therapist session, that type of thing. It is not cheap, but it is not the expense that we think it might be.
It's not as out of touch as we think it is.
Out of touch as I think.
And in that regard too, if someone is on a budget, I mean, of course, we cater for persons like that as well. And also, for the hospital, they provide free testing as well for themselves. Of course, I guess the wait time is what would be a turn-off for someone going to the hospital, although recently wait times have been improved. But for tests that are not available or directly available at the hospital, we are more than willing to facilitate. So we usually do testing that the hospital don't carry currently. We do testing for the patients.
Now, just for clarity's sake, right? You mentioned before, if you want to get tested for the prostate, you should visit your physician first, right?
Right.
But is it that I could just come off the street to Greenman and get tested for, let's say, fasting blood sugar or pressure testing without having to visit a physician first?
Yes, you can, right? Now, what I want to say with respect to the PSA and getting a referral from the physician, right, is that I don't encourage people to test in isolation. When I say test in isolation, someone will come in and they say they want to test for everything. What is everything? Everything could range from $45 to $3,000, right? What exactly is your version of everything, and why would you want to test for everything, basically, right? So if, for instance, you walk off the street and the range for our PSA is between 0 to 4, right? Yours is 4.5, right? Immediately in your mind, you might start panicking and wondering, oh gosh, I might have prostate cancer, right? Well, as I said, it might not necessarily be the case. It could just be that reading at that point in time based on something that's happening within your body, that you're unaware of, right? So the initial part where I recommend that you visit a physician, especially if it is that you're looking at doing prostate testing, right? Because again, PSA is a marker, not necessarily a diagnostic indicator of prostate cancer.
All right. But let's see, I wanted to check my cholesterol, my pressure, start to establish some baselines for...
Right, so starting to establish some baselines, yes, you could do that off the street, right? We usually recommend fasting for these blood tests, right? And you could also do, pre and post. So you come in, you take a test. If some of the markers or levels are elevated, right? The go-to is to go to a physician next. They would recommend either diet change, exercise, or medication, depending on what is the results, right? And you could always come back again after a course of medication or diet and exercise to determine where you are now currently.
So your service, testing is not a death sentence or a finish line and a full stop. Testing is a sign on the side of the road saying you're going the right way or you're going the wrong way.
Correct. Okay. So testing, I mean, we always have people coming in for follow-up testing. Sometimes, I mean, once conditions improve, well, of course, there will be no need to have continuous testing, right? So again, testing, you're looking at testing as screening. So you want to know where you are in terms of blood sugar levels, HbA1c levels, cholesterol levels, etc. Right? Kidney function levels, because that is something that we see increasing in terms of conditions. Right? Okay. Persons having to go on to dialysis, etc. at an earlier age, based on, again, lifestyle.
And
right?
for me, who can't train biology and probably can't remember anything, what's the function of the kidney?
Function of the kidney?
Yeah.
Regulation, blood regulation. So basically, what it will do is filter. It acts as a filter. Right? It acts as a filter.
I can't remember anything in biology. Numbers is my thing.
Numbers, no?
Numbers, remember the DJ era, the associators, right? The A in era is for accountant, huh?
Right.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
So based on what it is I'm hearing so far, it can be affordable.
It is
affordable. At least it's definitely not out of touch.
Yeah.
Right. You mentioned one of the things people in passing that with the hospital there might be wait times. A lot of the reasons we kind of shy away from the public healthcare is because of the anticipated wait times. Private institute like this one, do you have a quick turnaround in terms of testing and results? Because
so for most tests, business could come in the morning, have it back by lunchtime or by the end of the day, depending on what time they come in, right? And depending on what type of tests. So for instance, if it is doing like STD screening, you can get that either the same night of the day that you test or the next day, depending on what time you come in to do the testing.
And I would always tell this story. I remember as a younger man, right, looking to get involved in adult activities with, consenting adults. I came for a profile, and here the catch, right? The knowing that I'm coming for this test, and now you're worried about everything because you have no idea what anything means, right? Your ear is scratching you, you're wondering if you have something. And then to come in, and the thing was maybe a day later, even back then, right, to get this email, I believe it was, right? Via email. My results to realize, well, your boy right up. But the stress of waiting to go and get tested, thinking about going and get tested, was however long versus the actual testing and results being no for no.
Right. Because I know these are private, but when the public healthcare system, Marmara Healthcare Center does STD screening. I don't know if they still do it every Friday, but I know they do it. And that week, when they sit down outside that room, is the most nerve-wracking wait ever. Because then next thing you know, somebody has the same name as you.
Well, yeah, you do have a very common here.
Or somebody, there's a huge line of people waiting, and it's like, I wonder if anybody in this line knows me, boy. And you're afraid to go get tested because of the fear, similar to a counseling that somebody going to know your business, right? Because we know how serious a fear that is in Trinidad and Tobago, because we are separated by, I think, two levels, right?
2 degrees of separation.
2 degrees of separation.
But a quick note, right? This would be a very interesting time to point out that there's somebody else who shares your name, a man by the name of Richard Williams. So
We're not family.
we're gonna take a quick break for a little feedback from the outside with Willie with Hawaii, and then we'll get back into the conversation.
Good evening to everyone out there listening to WAC Radio 90.1 FM. This is Richard Williams, Willie with a Y, alongside DJ Aaron and Ricardo Mitchell. And this week's topic, I really would like to touch on social media responsibility. I am 100% certain you've read the story by now or probably seen it on the news, where a young lady was stopped by her estranged husband and shot 8 times while on her way to work. That young lady is a friend of mine. There's a saying which goes that you don't really know pain until it reaches in front of your door. And there were some videos circulating immediately after the incident took place. And it is or was disheartening to see my friend dumped in the backseat of a vehicle with 8 bullet wounds about her body. Partially exposed because I don't know if we're the process of putting her into the vehicle or whatnot. So she was a little bit disrobed. So my question to you tonight, why do we have this need or this urge to share everything, man? To record and share everything so you all have no respect, no regard, nothing for the deceased or for people who might be in peril and the like? You so want to play Mark Bassant and so on that you want to be the first to share the news, regardless of how it seems, or regardless of how it would impact others, her family members, her relatives, her associates, her work colleagues. You really think that's the last image they wanted to see of a child, someone's sister, your co-worker? We had to get serious here. And the thing is, these things is shared so quickly that even if you as an individual or a family member try to get in front of it, you can't. That is disrespectful. And I'm not saying this because she happened to be a friend of mine. This is me in general. We really need to check ourselves when it comes to social media. Social media has a lot of benefits. There's a lot of information out there. You could learn to do anything. You go on YouTube or TikTok, as is the craze these days, and you learn a lot. So why you have to be taking the people goodly internet to be sharing this kind of smut? And I make no apologies for that. And I highly think it is about time that people have to write an exam in order to be allowed to use the internet. Or some kind of sensitivity training. Something. Because you know it is to wake up. You had a hard night, you wake up, and when you check your messages on your phone, the first thing is to see your child or your co-worker or your sibling sprawl out in the back of a vehicle, dead? Come on, man. So you can't even allow people to mourn in peace because this video has been shared thousands of times between last week and today. You all know my mantra. Those who can do better should do better. And we as a people need to be a little more responsible with the content we share on social media. Everything is not about likes. Everything is not about shares. Because when you share the video and you see it shared how much ever 1,000 times, what does that do for you? Does that make you feel important? Do you go to bed at night better for having shared a video that received 1,000 shares? And not just any video, a video of that nature. And you know what's the funny thing? If it were your family member, you would want it taken down it. Until next week, this was Willie with a Y.
And I want to thank my nut family, I keep saying it every week, Willie, for another edition of Willie with a Y. And he keeps coming in hard with these Ys. So much so that my neighbor asked me if Willie's a host on the show. So a pleasant good evening to my neighbor who now watches the show.
Talk to me about some of the privacy protocols you have in place.
Right, so privacy protocols we have in place in our quest for becoming an accredited facility for blood testing. Each patient is afforded a unique identifier, right? So for the instance of the HIV patient, we use the ID card as a point of reference. So for even if you're doing the STD panel, only the other STDs would have a name on it, right? As opposed to the HIV test, because the HIV test is more of a confidential, nerve-wracking. You kind of don't want to have that quote-unquote stigma attached to it, right? Yeah. So to afford persons with privacy and for prying eyes not to know exactly what is happening with them outside of their physician and their counseling circle, right? We have these samples coded, right? Okay. So that no one person would have the same code, because we have unique identifiers for each individual test. So
it's emailed
to you, yeah, to the individual.
Depending on the testing, you're assigned an identifying code, right. But depending on the test and the results, your name is not associated directly
with it. So to begin with, if you're coming in, especially for, let's say, HIV screen, we give you a consent form. So you basically only consenting to doing this particular test. Right? We explain to you the process of the test, we explain to you what will happen with the results, you getting the results. If in the event the result is a positive result, the result will have to be transferred to the Ministry of Health. Right? And then we'll recommend that you go back to your physician for the appropriate counseling, etc. Alright? Usually with those samples, however, they are sent to the QPCC, right? Queen's Park Clinic, right?
I know you thought it was cricket, but this is the clinic.
They usually they're the ones who do the confirmation testing for the HIV, right? And as well as syphilis, etc.
Right. So those would be the communicable diseases that fall under public health.
Correct. Right. So they would have that statistic in their records in terms of the client, so to speak. Right.
I see here on the once or twice, like
No, but let's remember that in 23 days, or probably 23 days, we celebrate World AIDS Day on the 1st of December. So it's imperative to make sure that people will get tested as well.
This is not even a shameless plug. It's kind of a shameless plug too.
But you know it's a shameless plug.
It's always a shameless plug. I have very little shame. What, again, World AIDS Day is approaching. Right? What is the price if I want to walk in off the street and get an HIV test?
HIV test is $90.
$90. 90. Less.
And more than likely on World AIDS Day, we'll have a special on that as well.
Alright, and when he says what his special is, we will remind you all about it.
That's correct, that's right.
Just about the price you would spend to go and watch Black Panther in the cinema next week, you could go get tested.
That is excellent.
That's keeping in touch. That's keeping it in touch.
And you keep talking about the club. Most of us don't go to the club anymore.
So
we need to talk about the other things in our life that we are related to. And again, congratulations to Borish on an excellent show. That was last week. And I must shout out my favorite Calypsonian, Miss Terry Lyons, who's going to be doing a show on the 20th of this month. I Am Lion. We're going on.
Hey, you're the ones who pay in, really mix.
Yeah, we win.
I saved my money for testing this month.
But I'm doing that too next month. But
You remember, you have about 4 jobs, and you could have 4 jobs.
actually, not just.
Alright, Tommy. So, Kerron, thanks for spending this time with us. You know that we just one or two quick other points we want to touch on in terms of the testing. So, I am apologizing in advance. I'll take a little footage walking in and out of the waiting room, etc. That waiting room, nicer than my living room home. I tell you, what I just say, right? It's a very relaxing environment. There's a fully equipped tea station, right? The bathrooms are right there. It's air conditioned. It's comfortable. I didn't walk into the sterile, bland, almost industrial environment that you expect when you're in a health facility. It was very comfortable, very welcoming, and if my blood pressure was high coming in thinking I was going to get tested, I'm pretty certain it would have started normalizing immediately upon entry. Right? So I want to thank you for creating such a space and for your staff. By the time we reach inside, we will address 2 or 3 times to, the staff was very engaging as well, without being sometimes I want to usually come inside and buy approach that you encounter sometimes. But they were attentive, they were direct without feeling like, well, okay, my chance now, no reach. It was a very nice balance. Tell me, in terms of setting up this feeling to the space that you're providing the service in, why was it so important for you to create a welcoming and calming and relaxing atmosphere?
Well, for me, coming from the hospital, I mean, basically saw how, I guess, gloomy a waiting room would be looking to a patient, right? Especially a patient that would be, concerned of their health, right? So they have anxiety walking in already, and I wanted to have an environment whereby people could feel at home. So the closest thing for home for me would have been a living room setting, right? So the closest thing to home would have been a living room setting. So that is why we designed both locations to actually look and feel like a living room as opposed to an actual office, right? To bring that level of comfort to persons, and after testing, everybody always joking, are we getting something to eat after this? We getting something to drink? So yes, you actually can get something to eat, something to drink after your test. You have a coffee station, tea station, and a general snack station.
Don't say that because Ricardo.
No, it sounds to me like you're saying it's all inclusive.
It is to an extent, right? We kind of tend to, well, most people who, again, managing their diabetes, etc., of course, would not partake willingly in it. We don't really discriminate. But, we have a lot of kids coming in as well, and, they enjoy the snacking, snacking while they wait. It's kind of like a icebreaker for them too. They could hold a snack while they're being distracted and have their sample taken.
So when they're taking the needle, just go on 2 or they say count to 3, 1, 2.
But actually tell them take a deep breath in, right? So my technique in terms of, again, as I said, I don't really like being stuck myself, right? So usually someone would be holding my hand down, I'd probably be biting a tissue. I mean, it's not that I feel pain or anything like that, but it's just, it's just something that I have a little phobia for, but not necessarily a phobia for doing, right? Because I do it quite diligently, and most times people recommend or ask me to take their samples, right?
Very gentle hands. Very gentle hands.
Part of the convenience as well too, if it is that your relative or yourself is unable to leave the vehicle, we have a phlebotomist, or any phlebotomist will be able to come and take the sample at the vehicle, right?
So you have a curbside service for those who do have the mobility to come into the facility.
To the facility, correct. Yeah. And in the extreme cases, we do some home visits, right? Some home visits in the sense that, I mean, have to be like extremely like a bedridden person.
Okay.
Like home,
Yeah.
right? So we try to make things as convenient as possible for individuals. We also do industrial testing. We do it via Dr. Jones, Mark Jones, and Dr. Jones in San Fernando, and Dr. Ganraj in Point Fortin. So we do full OGUK medicals for the industry as well.
Now, we talk about the needles, right? And the reason why I asked that question is because I'll never forget when I broke my finger, I had to get 2 injections. One morphine for pain, and then the local anesthetic.
Right.
The morphine, the woman said to me, count to 3.
Right.
So hear me in my pain. 1, 2, and then all of a sudden she's like, yeah, I don't know. I was like, but mind you, all this is needles. Then for the local anesthetic now, you can see how small my hands are. I don't actually have the largest hands.
Small hands.
The needle was probably longer than the anesthetic needle. The finger was swollen over here. And this man is trying to choke this to find the vein between my big finger and my ring finger.
Right.
Yeah, but just hold this ball and squeeze now. And he roughing up my hand that I'm feeling now because the morphine has worn off. And it's like, damn, take your time now. Treat it with care now. And that's one of my biggest peeves when it comes to needles and injections.
Right.
Because some nurses or doctors or whoever they may be, they tend not to treat it with care. They just rough you up. And yes, as a big man, I can take a little rough up on the top, but
Aaron, this is still a prime time show.
what?
Not taking it, big man taking a rough up, taking that.
I'm talking about doing an injection of this to the doctor, the roughing you up in terms of the old talk.
Apologies, sir.
And I'm sorry, I forget I have to be clear in my communication.
Yeah.
Right? But in this point where I'm at the hospital, I'm being tested for something, I expect to be treated with a certain level of respect, a certain level of comfort, a certain level of tenderness. And that's what I'm hearing here. And I appreciate that.
But in most instances, just to come to the defense, I guess, of all healthcare professionals, right? I don't think that it's intentional that they go out to do harm, because one of our tenets is to not do harm, right? So basically, again, as I said, it's more of a patience type thing, right? I can't vouch for the individual in terms of what kind of stressful situation they were in prior to doing that procedure on you, but in terms of reassuring a patient, we always reassure all our patients, right? Especially knowing that, okay, so sometimes we might have some people coming in one time, don't sick me 3 times, rough to us, right? Don't sick me 3 times, I only want 1 stick. And you have to explain to the person, well, ma'am, we need to look at the veins to determine which would be the best available option for you, right? And in the event that we do have to restick, which would be very unlikely.
Should I find the vein there?
We have a vein finder that we utilize as well. So even
I find my phone, find my vein.
Like a
something
machine.
like that. It's like it's a LED lit device.
Yeah.
Or you put against the skin, which basically illuminates where the vein is, right? In the event of a person having difficult skin or that they can't see the vein immediately, right?
And then all inclusive. So if you only use the vein finder, you ain't charging me for that.
No, that's just
part
part
of
of the service.
the all inclusive package.
There's part of that,
Part of
right?
the service.
Not like how some places is charging.
So it's like per cotton fee and all those things like that. No, we don't charge by cotton or tube or anything like that.
Now, I was more referring to the credit card charges. I'll talk about that.
We don't charge additional for credit card services.
Or if they have to
Use
use
the
the
vein
vein finder.
or if they have to use the paper. And most times, I mean, we encourage persons, again, if they have to make any claims, they can use their claim cards by Guardian, Sagicor, etc., right? So that they wouldn't have to bear the burden of the entire cost themselves.
And I said that's actually the first thing I noticed when I was walking in the door. You signed for the Sagicor card.
Yeah.
That catch me one time.
I mean, accountant. You looking at the numbers and the money?
No, that wasn't what I was looking at. In fact, I just swiped my card and I had to pay the whole thing one time.
Yeah.
That's a huge plus.
So as you swipe and we see your eligibility, we'll be able to let you know exactly what is covered, what is not covered in it.
Right, that's nice. So, I'm being very direct to this conversation. Men's Health Month. Why are we not getting tested? We're saying it's too expensive. That is a fallacy. It is clearly convenient because whether it's curbside, right, or what, it's available. We concerned about people getting into our privacy. That alleviate that issue as well, right? In terms of being uncomfortable, again, the environment, the surroundings, the staff, etc. And with your permission, I want to post some of the recommendations that the reviews you've gotten on social media, right? Society needs us. Men, society needs us.
Your family needs you. I'm breaking it down closer for those that just think society is everywhere.
It's outside.
Yeah. But your family needs you. Your children need you. Your parents need you still. Get tested. I mean, you can start as simple as the blood pressure screening, the cholesterol screening, because the lifestyle diseases are some of the most common causes for medical care later on in life. Right? So let's start as simple as even smaller than that. HIV screening, because as a member, sorry, I forget that's the president and the founder of the Single Men Association of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago.
SMARTT. Smart.
Yes. Right, as the president of that organization.
This is a self-appointed.
Yeah.
Here is a smart man on that.
From the organization, okay.
I'm thinking that was the first time I heard about this organization.
Yeah.
You ain't been a member of Smart in a long time.
Right? As the president of that organization, and if you are going to be engaging in sexual activities, please get tested. Alright? But other than that, as one, two, start as simple. Blood sugar, cholesterol, pressure. You said it's HbA1c.
Right.
HbA1c as the
3-month measure of your blood glucose.
right.
It'll give you the value in a percentage that would indicate whether you're within non-diabetic range, diabetic, or in a range that you need intervention.
How much the HbA1c test?
What?
Sorry, the A1 is the
HbA1c.
HbA1c.
Right?
How much does that cost?
$120.
$120. How long does it take?
You can get a result back in 15 minutes.
Back in 15 minutes. So you telling me is you could go downstairs, you could take my HbA1c, and before the living room was over, I could guarantee.
We prioritise the first day of the program, so again, when Desmond coming with the big bang.
Alright. But the worst thing is like that.
Same day. All our testing is same day, again, except for the STD testing, which depending on the time that they come, may go into the next day.
Yeah, but same day and 15 minutes is two different things, Kerron. You can imagine you order a little pocket of chicken and the same day delivery. No, you want it in 15 minutes. 15 minutes mean right here.
Again, you're not supposed to be eating a whole bucket of chicken because we now talk about lifestyle diseases.
Sorry, Eric. Good
Or at
point.
least a whole bucket of fried chicken.
That's small bucket.
This is what I'm talking about, you know. Man wanted to meet you when you're at 2. Thanks for that, Kerron. So, how we looking?
We prioritise the first. Yeah.
So this is the point where we ask Kerron for
Social media handles,
social media
business contact numbers,
and closing words.
And again, before he gives out the contact information, remember you are contacted for business purposes only.
don't let the chic finish fool all you, right? And I know that those are pretty much the fanciest scrubs I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, they are.
Right? Yeah, don't let it finish fool all you, right? This is for business purposes only. Kerron, how could the general public for business purposes get in contact with you?
To get in contact with us, you can call 223-7627. That is for the San Fernando branch. For the Point Fortin branch, we have 610-6690. Opening hours are Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. On Saturday, 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. Right? You can find us on social media, Green Med Limited on Facebook and Green Med Limited on Instagram. You could also visit our website for a full listing of prices and services, www.greenmedtt.com.
Just very quickly, you still doing COVID testing and stuff like that? Because we know the pandemic not over yet.
Not?
No, it's not actually.
No, that's a real matter.
Because I think it's still a pandemic. It's not endemic as yet.
I thought COVID done.
Well, we still do testing for COVID-19.
Right.
We still do PCR and antigen testing where applicable. Right. Currently, we do it for companies and individuals that needed to travel, especially Chinese contractors, and as well for schools.
Excellent news, man. Kerron, you have any closing remarks, any special greetings or shout-outs? You have any last words of wisdom? I mean, double O COVID you're dealing with here too, so brace yourself.
So in closing, I mean, what I would like to say, I want to thank the Living Room team, Ricardo and Kerron, for once again having me on this show. For persons who are desirous of doing testing, we are available via the numbers that I just said, as well as you can always walk into our various locations to find out more about the services. You can also message us on Facebook as well too, where we respond relatively promptly to all inquiries regarding testing services. Once again, for men in particular, I mean generally everybody, your health is your wealth. And taking care of your health, regardless of your personal thoughts or restrictions, be it financial, emotional, mental, I think it's something that you need to look at. Whether you go the option of doing it via the hospital, doing it via private institutions, doing it via physicians, the first steps are your responsibility, because at the end of the day, the longer we take to address health concerns, is the more expensive it becomes in the long run. Also, the less likelihood of you being able to get insurance in the event that you need to cover some of these expenses, right? So things that you need to look at in the earlies, again, getting the insurance policies in so that you'll be able to better manage your lifestyle, better manage your health, have something, again, in the event of anything happening to you and your family, right? Nest egg for your family, as well as taking care of your health to be able to be around for your family, and in the event of persons who don't have family, to be around to take care of you, in the long term. So we look forward to seeing each and every one of you for whether it be questions, concerns, or actually coming in to do a visit and do a test. We appreciate all business.
And I really like what Kerron said there, because just as there's an inverse relationship between the amount of people in the bank and the number of tellers available, there's an inverse relationship between the amount of money you will spend if you take care of your health at a younger age as opposed to older age. Alright? This is your truly DJ here at 868. I'm always great and I'm never late, and I always tell you that love is the currency, so spend some today. Let somebody know that they love them, guys. I think I'm back on this Friday. I don't think we have any shows. And Mr. Desmond, he is up next with the big band. Ricardo,
This is Ricardo Mitchell, the social sage, the babyface sage until I grow back my goatee. Reminding you guys that the hourglass is opaque. And I'm gonna amend my ending a little bit. We don't know how much time remains, but with pre-screening, with testing, you might be able to extend it a little bit, right? The hourglass is opaque. Whatever you're doing, be good and stay safe. Thanks for joining us in the living room. We want to thank our segment contributors and Men's Health Month. We have a responsibility to be here for society as long as we can. So let's take it seriously.
We didn't thank Kerron. So Kerron, thank you very much for taking time out of your busy schedule. Because again, similar to last week, you all can see that there's sunlight outside and we know it's Christmas time, so it's getting dark early. So we had to take Kerron out of his busy day to sit with him and have this conversation. So thank you very much for your time, Kerron. And we send Ricardo next month for testing.
Christmas testing, dog?
Aye? Before you go into all the ham and
Nah,
black cake and pasta.
you're really looking for that smoke, you know. But pastel? Yeah, I like to these pastel I'm looking forward to. Anyway, I'm gonna leave that where it is.
Keep it up, guys.